Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Abhiram IAS Academy. This is Pavani Reddy Palla. I'm here to discuss the Daily Chronicle series. So, let us start our discussion with the first important topic, that is the AI Action Summit 2025. So, we all know that Modi is in a 3-day visit to France. Here, he was attending the AI Action Summit. Okay. So, a joint statement from the AI Action Summit was being signed by 58 countries. So, this joint statement is related to the inclusive and sustainable artificial intelligence for the people and planet. So, this is the joint statement released in AI Action Summit, which was signed by 58 countries, including India, France, Brazil, China, Australia, etc. So, who didn't sign? It was not signed by UK and USA. Okay, so the US Vice President has commented, Vance has commented that this statement is being excessively regulated. That is why the US did not sign the joint statement. Okay, so we all know the basic facts. Yesterday's and day before yesterday's class, we have seen that this is third in series of the AI safety summits. The first AI safety summit has taken place in the UK, but the UK country did not sign the joint statement of this year's summit. Okay. And also the second summit has taken place in South Korea. And this is the third summit which is taking place in the Paris. Another important thing which we have to make a note is that this joint statement is asking the artificial intelligence growth and development to be human rights based, human centric, ethical, safe, secure, and trustworthy. So these are the primary concerns on which the AI is going to develop in this summit. So this is the outcome of this summit. Okay, so now let us go to the next important article. So next important article is talking about the Cotton Corporation of India, which may buy over 100 lakh bales at MSP. What is MSP? Minimum support price. So minimum support price. So what is Cotton Corporation of India and what is MSP? Let us study in detail. Okay. So Cotton Corporation of India, it is a public sector undertaking. So PSU. So it is a public sector undertaking under the Ministry of Textiles. Okay. So what is the activity? What is the role of CCI? So the role of the CCI is to trade it, to involve in the procurement and also to export the cotton. So it generally procures the cotton, trade and export the cotton. So all the activities related to cotton are being taken by the Cotton Corporation of India. So okay, let us study the other details. So it is responsible for the equitable distribution of cotton among different constituents of the industry and for aiding the import of the cotton. So cotton is primarily used in the textile as well as pharma industry. Pharma or the medical industry, right? Pharma and the medical industry. Let's say if the textile sector is having rapid growth in the entire globe, all the cotton grown cannot be diverted to textile sector alone. So it should be distributed among the different constituents. Okay. So the role of the CCI is to distribute equitable distribution to different sectors so that all the sectors are being benefited. Okay. So next. So it was incorporated on 31st July 1970 under the Companies Act 1956. So this institution has been bought under the Companies Act in 31st July 1970. Okay, so the CCI is governed by Textile Policy 1985. Okay, issued by the Ministry of Textiles, Government of India. Okay, so these are some basic facts which you have to remember about the CCI. Next, minimum support price. So minimum support price is again a very important topic. It is a favorite topic of the UPSC, okay, which can be asked in the prelims as well as the mains. Okay, so what is minimum support price? It is the minimum price offered to any crop that the government considers it as remunerative for farmers and hence they support. So whenever a government is feeling that this crop is essential crop which should be supported by them, that crop will be considered under the minimum support price. So government will offer the farmer that the minimum price for this type of crop will be some X amount. Okay, so that is the support offered by the government to the farmers. Okay, so which organization will recommend the minimum support price? So it is done by the Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices. Okay, so it will declare for 23 crops. So 22 will be the mandated crops and one will be the sugarcane. So, but the MSP will be given for 25 crops, including Toria and dehusked coconut. So we'll discuss the details of the 25 crops again in this topic. Okay, so you have to remember that which commission will announce the MSPs, that is nothing but Commission for Agriculture and Agriculture Cost and Prices. So this is the commission which will recommend the MSPs. It will recommend, and who is going to take a final call? It is nothing but the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is going to take the final call related to the MSPs. So based on which factors the MSPs, the minimum support prices, are calculated for a particular crop? So here we have 7 different types of factors on which the minimum support prices are calculated. Number 1 is the supply and demand situation of the commodity. Number 2, market price trends. And market price trends. So what is the domestic availability? What is the global availability? And etc. will be considered under this market price trends. Number 3 is the parity vis-a-vis the other crops. Okay. So next is the cost of production. So what is the cost incurred by the farmers for seeds, for fertilizers, for pesticides, etc. And number 5 is the implications on consumers. So we have to consider the inflation, so increase in the price levels of that particular crop. That is also considered under the MSPs. Next, environment. So what is the usage of the soil and what is the water cost, etc. Everything is again calculated. And next, the terms of trade between agriculture and non-agriculture sectors. So how the crops are being used in the other sectors as well as are also considered in this calculation of the MSPs. Next, so what are the crops which are coming under the MSPs? So we have 7 cereals: paddy, wheat, maize, bajra, jowar, ragi and barley. So please try to remember these all the important crops because we may get question related to MSPs in the prelims point of view. Okay, prelims. So try to just by heart. So 7 cereals, that is the paddy, wheat, maize, bajra, jowar, ragi and barley. So these are the 7 cereals, and we have the 5 pulses. We have chana, tur, urad, moong and masoor pulses crops. Next, 7 oil seeds. So rapeseed mustard, groundnut, soya bean, sunflower, sesame, safflower and niger seed. So these are 7 different types of oil seeds for which the MSP is given. And we have the 4 commercial crops, that is the cotton, sugarcane, copra and the raw jute. So these are different types of crops for which the MSPs are given. So again, whenever we are studying the topic of agriculture or the MSP, we have to study about the National Commission on Farmers. So this topic is important for us in the answer writing. We can use this information in our recommendations, or we can use it as in the introduction as well as the conclusion part of our answers. Okay, so National Commission on Farmers. On November 18, 2004, the Ministry of Agriculture constituted this committee under the chairmanship of Professor Swaminathan. So, who is Professor Swaminathan? So, we all know the Green Revolution. So, Professor Swaminathan is the father of Indian Green Revolution, which happened in 1960s. Okay, so at that point of time, India was in a state of importing the food grains. There was no self-sufficiency or self-reliance of food grains at that point of time. Okay, so at that time, India was still fighting about the financial constraints occurred in the newly born independent India. So at that point of time, from importing the food grains to, we have become a state where we started to export food grains through the Green Revolution. So we have introduced the high yielding varieties, high yielding variety crops, which made us self-reliant on the food grains. Okay, so that is briefly, you have to remember about MS Swaminathan. Okay, so between December 2004 and October 2006, he has submitted some reports. So you can use these reports in our answer writing in accordance with the question asked. Okay, so what is National Commission on Farmers? So it is a commission constituted by the Ministry of Agriculture when on November 18, 2004 under the chairmanship of the Professor MS Swaminathan. Okay. So what are the recommendations gave by this commission related to MSPs? So he gave some important recommendations like we need to avoid the delays in issuing of the minimum support prices to the crops, especially for Kharif crop. So what is Kharif? So there are 3 seasons. Okay, number 1 is the Kharif, which is in accordance with the rainy season in India. So, which is generally from June to September. Number 2, we have the Rabi season, which is in concurrence with the winter. That is from October to Feb or March. And again, we have the Zaid in concurrence to the summer season, March to May. Okay, so these are the 3 different cropping seasons seen in India. Okay, so especially for the crops grown in the Kharif season, that is in the rainy season from June to September, there should not be any delays related to the minimum support prices to the farmers. So this was one important recommendation by the Professor Swaminathan. Number 2 is improving the implementation of MSP across different regions. See, India is a very diverse land. So we have diverse geographical conditions promoting diverse types of crops. So different regions are playing a very important role in promoting different types of diverse crops. So all the farmers, all the different regions should be brought under the umbrella of the MSPs. That is one of the important recommendations given by Swaminathan Committee. Next, there should be minimum benchmark for the government and as well as the private traders procurement, whether it may be government procurement or it may be the private procurement, but there should be minimum benchmark below which the farmer should not be selling his produce, selling his food grains. Okay, so these are some important recommendations you have to remember regarding the National Commission on Farms. Next, coming to the another important article today in Hindu newspaper, we have about the Maldives to finalize the free trade pact with India soon, says the Minister Mohammed Said. So what is this related to? It is related to the free trade pact between India and Maldives. Okay, so what this article highlights, so it is highlighting that there in soon within 2 weeks, within 2 or few weeks, there is going to be a free trade pact between India as well as Maldives. Okay, so the Minister of Economic Development and Trade, Mohammed Said, has gave this announcement in his local TV channel. Where he has expressed a keen interest in signing free trade agreement with India. So we'll study a background about the free trade agreement. So what is free trade agreement? It is taken place between two nations to reduce or eliminate trade related barriers. So trade related barriers like the tariffs. What is tariff? It is the tax or duty imposed on the import or export of the goods. So what is free trade pact? It is going to take place between two countries where the trade barriers are either reduced or eliminated completely. In what? So it is for the goods and services, investment and intellectual property. So we have three components. One is the goods and services, number two is investment, and number three is the intellectual property. So these are three important components. Okay. Next. So how it is going to work? What is free trade pact and how it is going to work? So the free trade pact will either reduce or eliminate the tariffs, quotas, and other trade related barriers. So the other things are it will create a more predictable and transparent trading environment among two different nations, and also it will protect investors and intellectual property rights. So it will protect investments from other countries as well as the intellectual property rights of different countries. Next, what are the benefits of free trade pact? The benefits are it will help companies enter and compete in the global markets. So whenever the taxes, whenever the duties are reduced, then the countries will get a chance to have a fair play and thereby having a competition in the global market. Okay, so the other benefit is that it can give products and competitive advantage over the products from other countries. So whenever there is less tax or the duties, then those countries will have a advantage than compared to the products from the other countries where there is some tariff imposed on it. Okay, examples. So India is also having free trade agreements with the Australia, Chile, and the UAE countries, whereas the United States has the free trade agreement with 20 countries. In this way, whenever a country is signing a free trade agreement with the other country, then it is having a competitive advantage and there is a competition at the global level. Okay, so these are some important articles related to the today's Hindu newspaper. So that's all for today. Let us continue the class tomorrow. Thank you, and please like and subscribe to Abhiram IAS Academy. Thank you.